So a big moment for Kevin Trapp, who's had to sit and watch Gigi Buffon grabbing all the acclaim since he signed for Paris Saint-Germain. Trapp gets his chance to stake a claim. Senior men like Kurzawa, Verratti and Di Maria are involved to give a steer to the young players on this tour. Timothy Weah made a little bit of headway against Bayern Munich, the young striker, but not selected here. Tuchel speaking that there's a certain amount of wariness in some of the players already. As for Atletico, Antonio Herdan, the new goalkeeper signed from Real Betis, was the star of the shootout win against Arsenal. 3 youngsters in the back four. Rodri Hernandez, another new signing, gets another chance in the centre of midfield, and it's Gamero and Vieto up front. Simeone keen to blood as many of these youngsters with game time as possible. Montero, the youngest of the pack here, at 19 years of age. Mohamed Taki Al-Jafri takes charge. And here comes the countdown in the National Stadium. PSG get us underway against Atletico Madrid in the International Champions Cup 2018. It's the last match to be staged here this time round, sadly, in this wonderful stadium built on the site of the old National Stadium. Opened in 2014. But everybody who comes here loves it, and hopefully it will continue to be a venue. Di Maria down the middle. Delighted to welcome Mark Rodden. Mark.
Yeah, PSG conceding 8 goals in 2 matches so far in the ICC. A few more experienced players available to Thomas Tuchel today. It will be interesting to see Di Maria does through the middle, and Verratti as well had an operation and a muscle injury towards the end of last season, so important for him to get a few minutes under his belt, and they should be okay, you think, against a young-looking Atletico Madrid side as well.
Tuchel speaking at length about a very hurried preparation, given up the obvious distraction of the World Cup, but the start of the league campaign on the 12th of August for PSG, and of course before that the Trophée des Champions meeting between the top 2 clubs in France, the traditional formal curtain raiser. That's on the 4th of August when they play Monaco in Shenzhen. As ever, every year they find a new and exotic venue. Nobody quite spreads the word as effectively as the International Champions Cup, though. They've been delighted with the facility here as they've worked hard between games. Chance today for Colin Dagba here. Tuchel, of course, Mark, is still learning, as Simeone is, about the young players at his disposal. But Simeone's overseen the influx, hasn't he, for the last few years, and that's a difference with Tuchel. He's inheriting somebody else's work. Yeah, exactly. I think Simeone is just making sure that the young players coming up know exactly what he wants from them, knows the system inside out, whereas Tuchel is getting to know his senior players as well as his youngsters, and lots of them to come back. That 89-goal front trio from last season: Cavani, Neymar and Mbappe. Well, he's not had a day working with many of them just yet, but he is speaking to them on the phone. He told us that the other day, and he said what's amazing about them is all they want to talk about is football and how the tour is going. Nobody's talking about the World Cup or my contract or where do you want me to play. It's all about when are we starting and how are we going to work. I fancy this will be quite feisty today. PSG do need a result, and of course, you know, given the nature of the competition, both clubs want points on the board. I think it's the best thing about this setup, this structure in this tournament. Yeah, Di Maria, a former Real Madrid player,
being given a welcome there by Atletico. Interesting to see him play through the middle. And as I said, Tuchel is in contact with all the senior players. He's already being seen as much closer to the squad compared to Unai Emery, who kept his distance a little bit.
Adan getting to know his new colleagues. Top-line goalkeeper in his own right, lest we forget. Great 5 years at Real Betis. Dima is taking it. Adan not fooled by that. And Kunku let it run out. One of the things Atletico, Mark, have done so well in the transfer market is they have first they've got themselves a top player in every position, and then they've reinforced. The young left back today didn't do that very well, did he? Olabe. Here's Partey to mop it up. Partey's a great case in point, though, isn't he, as a backup to the likes of Koke. Gamero now. Rabiot needs to be a bit tidier than that. Back by Mikel Caro. The centre-backs today for Atletico are Tony Moya and Francisco Montero Rubio, 19 and 20 respectively.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the transfer dealings. Atletico have actually spent a bit this summer as well, bringing in Thomas Lemar from Monaco.
His job's to get into the side.
Yeah. I think Gelson Martins as well has the potential at least to be a very, very good player for them. Atletico played Sporting Lisbon in the quarter-finals, I think it was, of the Europa League last season, so they would have seen him up close.
Here goes Juan Fran. Rodri Hernandez. Partey dictating it in the middle of the park. Angel Correa, who's done well on this tour so far. It's a firm challenge on him by Riemann. Rodri Hernandez, signed from Villarreal, incidentally. Done well there. Got a feather in his cap that Atletico again have handpicked him. Partey in front of him here. Took a long time to make up his mind to do that.
I think what Atletico have done well as keeping hold of players as well. They haven't really lost anyone. Fernando Torres and Gavi, but they're both towards the end of their career. People want to play for Atletico now. They're one of the top teams in Europe.
Correct. The idea is to get two top players for every position. Montero. Kept going, very strong over the ball. Good piece of work by Trapp. He's had to watch and wait on this tour so far, Kevin Trapp, but making his presence felt, and they needed him, Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, very good play here from Kevin Gamero. Not often you see Diarra bounced off it like this, and he just tapped it back for Correa, but Trapp closed him down quickly enough in the end.
So it was a defensive performance which raised some questions for Paris Saint-Germain against Arsenal, and it started this way here as well. Dagba couldn't give it to Nkunku.
Yeah, defence really shouldn't be a problem for Paris Saint-Germain when they get all the main players back. Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, Christel Kimpembe. Pretty good backline available to Thomas Tuchel, but it's about getting those extra pieces that will allow them to get to the latter stages of the Champions League.
Yes, and maybe just to characterise that a bit more, I think the other question is going to be, if he actually does want to play with 3 centre-backs, he's got to persuade these big-name players that it's the right way to go. Lo Celso. Kunku's in front of him. Helped it on his way out of play. Keeping all those big names on side is going to be the issue, I think, for Tuchel, because that often used phrase player power has certainly been a factor at PSG over the last, not just the last 2-3 years, but for some time further back as well.
I don't think he has a reputation, as I said, for creating a good atmosphere within a squad, and that was one of the considerations. Cup winner in Germany with Dortmund, brought through some good young talent. Julian Weigl has been linked with Paris Saint-Germain as well, the holding midfielder at Dortmund.
Here's the playmaker, Rabiot. Dagba. Riemann. Riemann, a stalwart for PSG among all these stellar names. Doesn't play much in the first team. Moving well again, Gamero. They've caught Riemann out here. Kevin Gamero has been denied once by Trapp. Beats himself there, lifts it over the crossbar. PSG looking very vulnerable again.
Yeah, great chance, Gamero. Not offside, and he'd expect to score that one. Took an age, in fact, to get the shot away. Pitch perhaps not helping him. He's actually one player who was linked with a move away from Atletico, with Valencia apparently interested.
Tidy by Rabiot, but given away. Partey. Keen edge to Atletico Madrid early on here. Rodri Hernandez. Just asked to sit in front of the 2 centre-backs, Hernandez by Simeone. Partey's been pushed on. Like the Javi Martinez role, perhaps. Maybe that's how they see him long-term. Hernandez, here he is again. Back to him by Partey. Distribution's good though, isn't it? On by Caro.
It just looks like they know what they're doing, every player. Many of them want to play together, I'm sure. But they know the Atletico system. Once again, PSG still a little unsure of their roles under Thomas Tuchel. Helps Atletico of Simeone so active on the sideline, coaching as they go.
What a coach, what a career, and maybe as he stays, the dream remains that UEFA Champions League, and this year more than ever, in Atletico's own brand new home stadium. Could it be?
Well, you'd expect that could be a target. Atletico knocked out in the group stage last season, 3rd behind Roma and Chelsea, but they might have thought it was a poor season on the way, or a disappointing one. They finished up 2nd in the league.
No, indeed. I was fortunate actually to interview him before the last Champions League game at Chelsea, and he said, look, I want to say one thing. we are playing well. We're just not scoring goals, and that was actually what cost them in the groups. But he put that right with Diego Costa in the second half of the season, and you know what? They end up winning another European trophy with plenty to spare in the final against Marseille. Top outfit in every respect.
Just 5 defeats in the league as well. It's incredible. Best defence by 7. Conceded 7 fewer goals than anyone else.
The other thing that struck me about him, you know, he was under a little bit of scrutiny because everybody were expecting Atletico to be the team to beat in that Champions League group, and the way he handled that scrutiny and pressure was so impressive.
It's the way you bounce back as well. Great response to going out. Pretty much won a trophy every year he's been there, or at least appeared in a major final.
Heartbreak time and again in the Champions League so far. Flagger stayed down. Knocked up in the end by Nkossi. Stanley Nkossi is in a different role on the left here. Played on the right against Paris Saint-Germain. Dagba didn't feature in the previous game. Verratti just feeling his way into it. Here he is. I don't think we'll be seeing him overexert himself, do you? Such an important man for the season ahead. Di Maria shrugged off it. Rodri Hernandez. Perhaps the big question as the season develops, Mark, over Tuchel's head is how will he handle it all? The expectation, the profile of being the only big club in Paris and the preeminent club in French football. There's an enormous scrutiny on that. And, you know, when the pressure came on at Borussia Dortmund, as much as he is liked, it showed.
Yeah, I'm sure he learned from that, though. He's certainly well paid, that's for sure. The talk is he's getting 5 million a year, 420,000 euros per month as PSG manager, with big bonuses should they win the league and win the Champions League. But it's a very tough job, as Unai Emery found out as well, especially in the elite competition.
Nkunku, fouled by Montero. Nkunku is one of those who, although he is one of the new cadre, he did get a fair amount of first-team action last season. 6 starts in Liga, 18 substitute appearances, got 4 goals.
Feeling too that he could earn some more game time this season, that maybe he deserves as much.
Di Maria leaves this to Verratti. They're trying to work something between them. Getting to know you, I think.
That has been one of the issues with Paris Saint-Germain in recent seasons as well. Spending a lot of money to chase Champions League glory, but losing some very talented youngsters as well. When you think of Kingsley Coman moving on to Juventus and then Bayern, Jean-Kevin Augustin at Leipzig, and Dan Axel Zagadou at Dortmund.
Rabiot. Just beyond Dagba, but he kept battling away for it. He won't reach that one. Rodri Hernandez takes it on himself to lead Atletico out. Partey has it. Not sure Partey wanted it, in all honesty. He gave him a bit of a look then, didn't he? And it's gone the other way. I'm not sure about that.
I noticed Simeone said in the build-up to this game he's not featuring Antoine Griezmann, still on holiday after winning the World Cup, but Diego Simeone thinks there's more to come from the star man for Atletico.
I think he's probably right.
Well, he scored over 15 goals in the league alone in each of his 4 seasons at the club. 29 in all competitions last time out.
Switch by Riemann. Confronts the defender. It was a nice take by Kurzawa. Kurzawa's been quiet down that left so far. Very talented player. Here's Di Maria. Doing his own thing in his own way so far here. Verratti. Rabiot. Well, Shaqiri got a great goal, didn't he, for Liverpool the other night, but that was really stretching the point. Dagba. One back by Verratti. That's what he's so good at. Puts PSG on the front foot here. Rodri Hernandez just steers it to safety. Kurzawa clearly was watching that Shaqiri goal for Liverpool, wasn't he?
He scored a few spectacular goals
right
in his time, but he's missed out actually the last few days with a back problem. Obviously no issue there now.
No, exactly. Lo Celso's little flick. Perhaps they're looking more purposeful going forward than they are defending here, Mark. PSG.
Yeah, definitely. Rabiot and Verratti pulling the strings in midfield. Big season ahead for Lo Celso as well, with Javier Pastore leaving. There's perhaps a chance for him to make more of a mark.
Pastore moved on to Roma. Yuri Bashish also left. Not a very good touch by Di Maria, presented to him by Nkunku. And Nkunku, I thought, might have taken that on himself. Partey. PSG shading it against Atletico Madrid, but that is almost par for the course with Atletico. They sit in where they can early on in games, whoever they're playing, draw the opposition onto them, and then, generally speaking, work their way into it.
Well, PSG have had a shade more possession, but Atletico the better chances. That's usually the way it works.
Gamero's little layoff. Vieta shrugged off it. Verratti. Di Maria again. Kurzawa outside him, or up with him anyway. Di Maria again wants to do a lot himself. Gets a corner.
Di Maria clearly not at his sharpest, as you'd expect, but still looking dangerous.
Verratti. Cross didn't come in. Nkunku to Verratti. Nkunku, bit of room for him. Head was down. Montero got the block on the shot when it came in. PSG want a result here, don't they? They need one quite badly, I think. Lo Celso, Nkunku. Need to be alert on the counter here. It's Gamero. And that was good work by Nkosi. Good win back. That's one of Tuchel's big things, isn't it? Winning it back like that. Gegen pressing. Not sure what the French is for that, actually. Rabiot. Di Maria. And again, a very good high win back. This time by Riemann. Tuchel will be pleased with that. Diarra, who's again slotted into this role between two tall stoppers. Little Lassane Diarra. Di Maria, he loves to volley them, and even that's not working out at the moment. Just shaking the rust off, I suppose.
Yeah, last scene scoring an absolute screamer against France in the last 16 of the World Cup. That one not as memorable.
One of the games of the tournament. One of many contenders, obviously.
Yeah, one of tournaments, and PSG did quite well out of it as well. Lots of goal scorers for various countries.
And while the world was watching there, of course, the French underage teams continue to develop the next generation.
Yeah, two of the under-19 squad on the bench today, just flown back in. The French going out in at the semi-final stage, I should say, against Italy. They were then beaten 4-3 in extra time by Portugal
in the European Under-19 Championships. Rodri Hernandez. Juan Fran. Montero. The left back is Roberto Olabe. He's made one or two little errors under certain scrutiny here. Here's Partey. Doesn't really have the finesse. Olabe dived in again. Doesn't need to do that.
I've been impressed by Rodri so far, the number 14, just the sitting midfielder for Atletico. Very tidy, a bit like Sergio Busquets maybe. Just doing a lot of simple things very well. You can see why Atletico signed him. Still only 22 as well.
$20 million from Villarreal. Only missed one La Liga game last season. Was actually born in Madrid. Nkunku. Lo Celso. Dagba. Not really on the same wavelength as Kurzawa. Looks a cool customer, this fellow, doesn't he? He's been around Antonio Adan. Of course, he's got Juan Oblak as the number one, and there's no dispute, at least in Atletico's side. Different story perhaps at PSG at the moment, Mark, but no disputing that Oblak will be the number one. But what a mighty good reserve goalkeeper Adan should be.
It came on at half-time against Arsenal. Only beaten once from 4 penalties in the shootout.
And then won it himself. Kurzawa. Verratti. Back by Rabiot. Lassana Diarra. Most of it's been played in Atletico's half. Dagba. PSG with a little to show for that so far. Back by Riemann. Nice by Rabiot. Kurzawa to Di Maria.
Yeah, last 15 minutes all PSG, but while you can hear the crowd get excited when they get in and around the area, there's no real space in there. Atletico's positioning, as much as anything, so good.
Hard-fought affair once more here in the International Champions Cup 2018. All the games so competitive, and all the 18 elite club names so very, very keen to show their best to the legions of supporters they have developed in this part of the world. Same is very much true in the United States leg of this global project. They want to put on a show for their fans, and they're doing that. Dagba on by Nkunku. He tried to give it to Lo Celso. Vieto. Nicely worked. The layoff by Correa to Vieto. And that is a good win back by Nsoki. Looks a bit more comfortable to me on the left than he was the other day. Tuchel finding out things about his new players all the time, of course. Di Maria. Rabiot. Lo Celso. Not sure he really believed he could curl it round or down from that position.
He did at least get it on target, but weak enough efforts. May well have been curling wide, actually.
Lo Celso got 4 league goals last season, including a very important winner at Bordeaux. Also scored in the 7-1 demolition of Monaco. Now, when you score one in a 7-1, people will say, well, we had 6 others to spare, it's not a vital goal, but actually he did score the first goal against Monaco, so that also counts.
Another treble for PSG last season, but so hard to make the real breakthrough in the Champions League.
Here's Kevin Riemann. Dagba outside him, needs a good cross. That was a good cross, and Nkunku missed it. Might have been an arm, but it's gone in anyway, and Paris Saint-Germain pressure pays off, and Nkunku turned it in.
Poacher's instinct here from Nkunku, didn't wait around, slotted it home, and first time really that Atletico have been a bit sloppy in defence. Just reacted quickest, adding to the goal he got against Arsenal.
Tuchel needs a win here, and they've gone about it in the right fashion.
Sign of a good striker, really, isn't it? Had to work very hard, feeding off scraps in the opening half hour. Waited for his chance and took it.
Atletico have had chances and not taken them. One good save by Trapp and one fairly glaring miss by Gamero. Verratti. Riemann. Dagba. Lo Celso back to Dagba. Nobody in the box at the moment.
It's interesting to see Lassana Diarra leading from the back here. Quite a renaissance in his career after spending the 2014-15 season without a club after a contract dispute with Lokomotiv Moscow.
Fairly remarkable career, yes. He's 33 now. Not sure there's many other players in this International Champions Cup who've played for 4 of the teams involved. Long time ago now, Chelsea, Arsenal, of course, but Real Madrid, long and very successful career there. And he went off wandering to Russia, back to Marseille, and lo and behold, all these years later, back to the top team in France.
Yeah, it's good staying power, and is able to regain his old form as well, because I remember when he joined Marseille after that year off, he was back in the France squad before long after a 5-year absence from international football.
Here's Rodri Hernandez. On by Gamero to Juan Fran. Gamero goes again. And Soccer chasing him into the corner. That was risky, and they might pay for it. Oh, brilliant recovery by Lo Celso, and he's bailed out Verratti big time there. Verratti and Rabiot somehow come away with it. Confident there from Verratti, having made that mistake. Try it again, and it worked. Here's Kurosawa. Back to Verratti. This is nice from Paris Saint-Germain. And Kunku wasn't a great ball to him, but he tried to keep it alive. Partey nicked it and was fouled by Rabiot.
Good chances at both ends there, with all the talk of playing it out from the back. Verratti took that to extremes there, saved by Lo Celso of all people with a sliding challenge in his own area. And then it was promising from PSG until the final ball.
Not very constructive from Atletico.
Lost their way a bit. When you think about it though, PSG on paper a dream job, but such a difficult one now. Scored 108 goals in Ligue 1 last season, won the treble, still not enough. Really, Unai Emery on borrowed time from the moment they got knocked out by Barcelona in the Champions League a couple of seasons ago, then lost the league title. And once they got knocked out by Real Madrid in last season's Champions League, it was just a case of playing out time, he almost felt. His days were numbered. Unlucky too, because he was second, or PSG were second in the group. Then drew Barcelona. Everyone said, well, the key is winning your group. The next season they win the group and then get the defending champions Real Madrid in the last 16. It's a very hard competition to win, which I don't think the Qatari owners realised to the full extent when they took over at PSG.
And here they are playing a side who finished above Real Madrid in La Liga. Soccer. If anything, they've got a little bit more assured since they got that goal, I think, Mark. Do you? Paris Saint-Germain?
Yeah, they've had a good 20 minutes or so, really. And again, that experience showing with Diarra at the back and Rabiot and Verratti in midfield.
Emphasises what we believed and what we heard. Tuchel felt it's going to be important, very important, that we win this game. Lo Celso. Partey's a bit prone to that kind of thing, isn't he?
Yeah, clumsy. Well, Simeone doesn't mind the odd professional foul. So Luka Hernandez gave an interview during the World Cup saying he was time wasting for France towards the end of their game against Australia in the group stage. He said he learnt it from Simeone. Saw a bit of that from Griezmann as well towards the end of the World Cup. Tactical fouling, wasting a bit of time. It's all part of the professional game now.
In mitigation with Partey, I think back 3 or 4 years when he was at Almeria. He spent a season at Mallorca as well, and it was 2 and 3 suspensions per year. He has actually got a grip on that side of it, in fairness. Just the 6 yellows last season. Hernandez still off the line. There's a brilliant stop with trap beaten by Riemann. He did so well, but Atletico were squandering too many chances here. 2 in that one little passage of play. Nkunku got there ahead of Partey. Lo Celso, Rabiot showed for it. Di Maria is bursting into the box. Rabiot could see it wasn't a bad ball either, was it? Right onto the penalty spot. Go on, are you good enough to get there for me? He wasn't far away, but what a ball in by Rabiot. Maybe after 2 or 3 games, Di Maria will get that.
I think Edinson Cavani and Kylian Mbappe would definitely get there. More used to playing in that attacking role, perhaps.
Going forward, they've been very good, Paris Saint-Germain. Dagba. Stopped by Olabe. So a couple of near things, 2 more near things at the other end. And still Atletico cannot score.
PSG patient and probing, and on the counter very effective on the rare occasions they do get to break on Atletico, but really the Spanish side should be level going into half-time.
Here we are. Rodri Hernandez here. He got away from Diarra. Vieto, he should score, simple as.
It wasn't the best of cutbacks initially from Gamero, then Rodri took a bad touch, almost like they were passing it in, or trying to pass it in, and it wasn't a very good contact there from Vieto.
But all the credit goes to Stanley and Socki. In behind Trapp. It is going to be such a big decision, though, isn't it, for Tuchel? Does he go with Buffon or Trapp?
Exactly.
Or Areola, who actually played more league games than Trapp last season.
Trapp has never truly convinced. That Paris Saint-Germain picked up for, I think, about €5 million from Eintracht Frankfurt. He was a bit of a surprise signing at the time. But then I don't think that uncertainty helps either. You've got to have a number 1. I think the whole team would benefit from knowing.
It's Vieto trying to give it to Gamero. Big improvement from Stanley and Socki down that side. Much more solid.
Another France underage international involved with Paris Saint-Germain, being kept very honest today by Kevin Gamero, former PSG player.
Trapp has a man on both posts here. Well struck, and that's sharp from Moya from a long way out, but equally sharp by Trapp.
A very good strike through a crowd of bodies, but I think Trapp had a good view of it. Not quite in the corner either.
Nkunku. I think some people might be wondering about Areola right now, in the sense that he didn't actually, the Maria shot blocked down, didn't actually play for France in Russia, but maybe some PSG fans will say, well, why is he taking the full extended break on offer if he's not played at the World Cup? But of course the goalkeepers do actually work every single day of a tournament like that, and they went the whole way. They have to be ready, as you know, to play at a moment's notice, and even if they know they're only going to ever be backup goalkeepers, the starting goalkeepers rely on them to work with them. So, you know, he's probably saying, I've earned my holiday.
Exactly, yeah. It's a very good point in terms of goalkeeping training, and I think in general, that French squad, there was so much competition. That's what made them so good. Yeah. They were driving each other on.
But, you know, the likes of Kimpembe, who again is still on his holidays, he would have known that unless there's an injury or a suspension, I'm not going to play now because the team is settled. It's different for the goalkeeper. They have to be ready all the time, because even a sending off in a game. Moya on his right foot, not as good as that left-footed strike a moment ago, and that is it in the first half here in the National Stadium in Singapore. It's as hard fought as we've come to expect in the International Champions Cup. Paris Saint-Germain really do want to win this, and they've gone about it impressively in the attacking sense. Nkunku supported by Di Maria today. Rabiot's been running the show. Nkunku credited with the goal that divides the sides at half-time, and several chances have been squandered by Atletico Madrid, and they might rue it here. Paris Saint-Germain with the edge and looking very determined to keep it that way. Half-time, PSG 1, Atletico 0.
Life stands apart here this evening in the National Stadium. I wouldn't say Paris Saint-Germain stand apart against Atletico Madrid, but they do lead it, and deservedly. 60-40 in possession terms. 3 shots on target, Atletico, but denied each time. Going to be a lot of changes here by Tuchel, as he promised. And of course, bearing in mind this fairly demanding schedule that's encountering, without a lot of established star names still come back. And every 3 days, basically, PSG, plus the travel. They will get a clear week before the start of the Ligue 1 programme, which is on the 12th of August. Thiago Silva has rejoined the travelling party. So we need to find out how Simeone is going to play his hand here, but we can see what Tuchel's got in mind. So important to all the clubs that all their players engage with the supporters out here. Looks like as you were in Maine for Atletico. Vieto missed a fine opportunity to level it just before the break. Gamero with 1-2 presentable opportunities.
And 10 changes for Paris Saint-Germain at the break. Looks like Kevin Trapp will be the only player who started. It continues. Moussa Diaby, one of those two players, were involved in the Under-19 European Championship along with Yassine Adli for the second half.
Joaquin will come on. Joaquin Munoz, Atletico, and now I think we're all set to go. Just about made it. So Atletico got to lift it here a little bit. Much change Paris Saint-Germain.
Substitution for Paris Saint-Germain.
So Soloway's 39. We're a bit lucky there, the new boys. Juanfran saw a potential moment of opportunity.
I always think the referee should give the advantage to the attacking side there.
Taken by Cuellar. Joaquin got his head to it. Referee's not obliged to stop it here, even though PSG want it stopped.
It's Alex Jean who's down. It's in quite a bit of pain as well.
Oh, I can tell you why. This would be very unfortunate for the young player. That potentially could be very serious, I'm afraid.
You saw from his reaction, slamming his hand against the turf. It's never a good sign. Actually, just a scare. Just goes to show how much luck is required to make it in professional football. 19-year-old sent down on loan to Netherlands last season. On to try and make an impression with a new manager in charge of PSG, and possibly lasting less than a minute.
What they do not need is to be taking home casualties, but that looks like it's what's going to happen to Alex Georgian. Very unfortunate. Let's hope it's a good recovery for him. So 10 changes already. Now Postolaki will be coming on. Here's one for Anna. Kept going. Vieto got the call, and it's fizzed back across the face goal. Bit unlucky, Joaquin. Took it upon himself, took the responsibility well. Nothing doing for Gamero again.
Yeah, really good skill. Didn't need to drive it across as hard though.
So Atletico are keen to up it here early on. I think that's another exhibit. Very determined. They're going about their business purposefully here. They don't want to be beaten. Correa's won them a corner.
Well, in terms of experience now, there's a big difference between the sides with all those changes that PSG made.
Taken by Correa, outswinger. Over the top goes. Rodriguez was in there. What perhaps is going to be important now, Mark, for PSG is that they don't crumble in the second half the way they did against Arsenal.
And against Bayern, they were ahead in that game, lost 3-1. I think it was 4 goals against Arsenal in the last 25 minutes or so.
This is Postolaki who's on for the very unfortunate Georgia.
Substituting for Paris Saint-Germain, player number 31, Alan replaced by player number 37.
One person's misfortune is another's opportunity. His 3rd substitute appearance now of this tournament.
Possibilities again here for Atletico. Correa just run off it. Might be a case we get a mob-handed change by Simeone at some point. All the substitutes are going through their routine behind the goal that Atletico are attacking.
I think he waited until about 15 minutes from time to send on a host of substitutes against Arsenal. It is just their second friendly, so they will be looking to give everyone a run out.
Correa again. All Atletico so far in the second half. Anywhere will do for Zagreb.
Could be a long second half for these PSG youngsters.
Well, it's character building stuff, isn't it? That's what they're here to do. Bernard sees off Vieto. He doesn't want to lose, does he, Simeone? Postolaki got a little touch on it. One to chase anyway. And waited too long. It's gone wide, but is it a penalty or not? Timothy Way is so very, very quick. I think this should be a penalty if it doesn't go in the net.
It's an awkward one for the keeper. I think probably, yeah.
I think it has to be. He gets a touch to it, number 1. He is taken out by the goalkeeper, number 2. And, okay, it didn't hit the post. Had it hit the post, Weah was taken out and couldn't follow it in. Should be a penalty.
I don't think it's the cleanest attempt to try and win the ball anyway, put it that way. Weah's unlucky. probably a bit sore as well after that.
Certainly Adan was guilty of just hesitating, and again she need to shake themselves up here.
Maybe Atletico guilty of not being aware of Wales' talent. Haven't come up against him yet, but
Pace, particular
exactly.
pace.
He's the one PSG player out there who has a bit of pedigree behind him in terms of the substitutes that have come on.
Tuchel still questioning the decision making there.
Full US international now, Weah, and has scored for them at senior level and scored against Bayern as well.
What now? When he lays it off this time, they're moving well here. That's a very, very good piece of covering by Rodri Hernandez. Now to Gamero. Correa. Good for him as well. Gamero, and it's straight at trap.
Not been here today. Kevin Gamero, lovely ball through. He took it in his stride very well. Trying to hit it a cross trap. Far too close to the keeper.
Better from Simeone men. Sagre's made a burst on the outside, it goes to the right instead. It's a great ball, it's a very sharp stop, that by Adan. What a good hit by Weah. And what a good start he's making at Paris Saint-Germain. They come again.
I think Tim Weah has a real chance of becoming a major star because he's got the pace, got the game intelligence as well. Actually interviewed him at the end of the season and he was saying he needed to work on his finishing. That wasn't a bad effort at all. It was a good save. First time strike. He's a very level-headed young man as well.
Don't think there's much chance of going off the rails with him. Father watching on. I know Father's rather busy man these days in his own right. As the president of Liberia.
Still only 18, Tim Weah. Just has to fill out a little bit more, and I think he's going to be a very good player.
Rodri Hernandez didn't want to give it to Adan.
Good response by PSG to the early Atletico pressure in this second half.
A little bit aimless that was by Atletico Madrid. One thing Diego Simeone detests above all things is if his side loses shape, but he appears suddenly to have done that after a bright beginning this second half. Weah again. Nice by Afiki. Correa clip.
I like the look of Moussa Diaby on the ball now, playing in behind the front two. Has the advantage along with Yassine Adli of playing some competitive matches recently in that European Underage Championship. 5-0 winners against England, Francois.
Adli on the side. Guerra shrugged off it. Good response by PSG for some pressure. Sissoko won it again. They've got their rhythm, haven't they, now, these young players?
I suppose they are all around the same age, would know each other quite well, playing at youth level for PSG in the UEFA Youth League.
Well, they don't play against Atletico Madrid everywhere, do they? Good firm challenge, this time again by Sissoko. He's a hard man to pass. Diaby.
Just standing up for himself a little bit there. He'd been caught by the same pair moments ago.
Surely not another injury for PSG. It's Bahebeck goes down. Oh, sorry, who will come on here? Forgive me. Bahebeck. Mbeso, who's only just come on, looked rather disconsolate himself, doesn't he? So that's two young players lost in what, 7, 8, 9 minutes, Mark?
I suppose that can happen as well when you step up the level. So it's a strong player, but it often happens when young players make the step up that they get hit harder, find the going a bit tougher. And unfortunately for Paris Saint-Germain, they've had to make 2 changes after the 10 they already made, so not looking very happy going off, suggesting that something has gone, pulled muscle perhaps.
Something appeared to go from their general play early in the second half, but they've definitely got the bit back between their teeth. And there's a real helpful here.
Yeah, his movement is so good, so hard to keep track of when he gets going as well. 4th youngest goal scorer in US history after netting against Bolivia in May.
Adli, looks in the Rabiot mould. Adli, tidy footballer. Given away to Fiki. Vieto. Set back by Adli.
Mentioning Adli, the number 27, recently signed his first professional contract with Paris Saint-Germain. There was a lot of talk in the papers that he'd leave PSG for Arsenal. A good sign that he's staying with the French champions.
Correa, Juan Fran, great pull back, and it's gone wide. The bigger miss really was by Joaquin Munoz right in front of goal. And Vieto, like Gamero, his luck is firmly out today.
Well, how many chances do they need? Great play by Juan Fran, a good cutback as well. Vieto's got to do better. Munoz not connecting cleanly, and Vieto, I think it might have taken a touch off trap. But it was the first touch that let him down, perhaps.
Two or three presentable opportunities for both of Vieto and Gamero, and perhaps that's being it mildly. This young PSG side are starting to counter-attack very threateningly. Look at this. Down with another sharp save, and he might have another to make. Montero the second block on, but they look mighty threatening now. Diaby in particular, a real handful. Drop off in line. Vieto. Here goes Joaquin. Seemed to be out. He's out now anyway. Seen off by Burnett.
Creating chance after chance here, the 1-2. Zagreb doing well. Not bad this from Diaby. A little lucky, but great skill, good effort on the follow-up. Zagreb on his weaker foot, unable to find the net as well, but Diaby, he's really standing out in his second half.
19 years of age. Was loaned to Crotone in Italy actually last season. So here come the Atletico youngsters. And Fran and Rodri Hernandez among those coming off for Atletico. So it's Gamero, I think. Mole's going to go in and try to animate things going forward. The player wearing 40. Little bundle of energy here. 46 is Oscar Pinchi. It's Molejo going over. PSG free kick, well seen. No doubt Atletico, Weah and Diaby in particular stand out, don't they? Next gen for PSG.
Most definitely. I think Weah has been impressive for a while. Get some get time with the first team last season, but Diaby certainly putting his hand up here. Clean slate, of course, with a new coach coming in, Tuchel. Well, he made his name at Stuttgart and Augsburg, working with younger players before taking a senior managerial role. You find out a lot about your players in games like this, especially when it was semi-experienced Atletico side out there.
Adley's put forward. I think that's the biggest card he had to play in the selection process, that he has got this track record for developing young players. And surely they have to look more than ever to that side of it. With the scrutiny the club is on financially, in terms of the regulations. But they're savvy business people. They know they can't keep on spending 100 million on a player every year. Oh, what a hit that is, and it clipped the top of the crossbar and absolutely nowhere. And this young man, even if he doesn't actually put it in the net, he's writing his name into the squad list, I think. Diaby again.
I think he might get on bench for the Trophée des Champions next week. What a strike, deserved it all. Superb technique. Keeper saw it very late as well.
He was nowhere. This is a fairly stunning performance from young Diaby. He's everywhere. This is the other great part to this. I know they can do it in underage football, but this is a platform, it's International Champions Cup, for young players to emerge. Arsenal have had 2 or 3 in this tournament this year, and no doubt at all, I think, Paris Saint-Germain can say the same thing. Adley, who looks tidy as well, and they want a corner. I thought it was a corner. I think it's going to be a goal kick, but Haybeck was in there. Not quite sure what he's doing galloping forward like that, but good luck to him. Had to be a corner, didn't it?
I think so. He's not so young anymore. 25 years of age now, spent several spells on loan. Utrecht last season in the Eredivisie.
Tuchel looks enthused, energised, and why not?
It's a fresh start for PSG this season. I think Ligue 1 lends itself to giving young players a chance as well. PSG so dominant. I imagine Tuchel will give some of these guys a lot more game time than they would have got perhaps under Emery.
Forward by Bayed to Adley. All the bits and pieces are working nicely here for Thomas Tuchel. Zagre's cross was a beauty, and felt like he had a bit more time then to adjust than he perhaps realised.
Frustrated with himself here. Lovely ball in. Great shape to the cross. Not so sure about the marking.
Only 18, Virgilio Postolaki. Atletico come again. Good little win back by Cos Munoz. Atletico get free kick. What a good contest this is. Back and forth.
The second half has been excellent. Lots of hungry players out there. And there is a bit of regeneration with PSG this season. The likes of Thiago Motta retiring, Pastore leaving, Ben Arfa as well. Some of the players, Krakowiak was on the books. Some players who might have been keeping some of these young players out of matchday squads are no longer there.
Atletico couldn't reach it. For Haybeck. Foul against Benet.
Benet is aggressive France under-19 international. You have to admire these Paris Saint-Germain players as well, seizing their chance here, not holding back.
Just perhaps sense that through the last season or 2 seasons they may have looked at it and thought, well, whatever we do, we're not going to get a chance. Now, different story.
Imagine that's why so many have left. Coman, that's famously the reason he left for Juventus. I think he made 3 first-team appearances with Paris Saint-Germain and was very vocal about how he felt aggrieved not to get more of a look in.
Closed shop. Not now.
So many young French players going to the Bundesliga these days as well. A couple of them from PSG. Zagadou, decent first season at Dortmund and Augusta.
Wouldn't shock me at all to see 1 or 2 loans there. The players we're watching here getting a loan spell. You know, a player who became one of France's biggest success stories at the World Cup, Benjamin Pavard. Exactly that happened to him.
Well, he wasn't getting his chance at Lille. Stuttgart took a chance on him, and promotion.
Here goes Way again, that might be costly. Diaby! Fantastic! Write the name down for the future. Paris Saint-Germain lead 2-0, and Weah and Diaby have carved Atletico apart. Moussa Diaby.
Yeah, what a performance this has been, and he's not done yet. Got the goal he deserves, and it was a cracking finish as well. Putting the pressure on, forcing the mistake. The first time ball, just 2 touches later, it was right in the corner. Diaby only turned 19 earlier this month. He looks ready.
He cracked one against Adan's crossbar. Adan didn't see that one, and I don't think he saw this one either.
Tuchel looks excited, doesn't he?
I don't blame him. They don't lose 2 or more to 0 very often, Atletico Madrid, do they? And I say more potentially because, as you rightly put out, they're in the mood to keep going, this young group of PSG players. Trapp got there and then made a bit of a ricket, got away with it. Molijo's onto it. Joaquin.
Wasn't the best of back passes either from Moussa Sissoko.
Ideal, very like Rabiot, isn't he?
Yeah, looks like him, similar style of player.
Damage limitation at the moment for Simeone. Have to get the next one, don't they? So they have to keep going forward. Just been hustled out of their shape by the athletic, exuberant, skillful individuals that Tuchel has put on the field. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . throw the ball away like that, or it could get worse. Sissoko has been under a little bit of pressure, hasn't he?
Yeah, has to be very careful. I don't think the referee liked the reaction.
Well, he's got to know he can't do that, because on another day it would be another card. To take the free kick. Corner now. Still to safety by Bahebek.
Good delivery of that, but good defending as well.
Trapp's not getting to it. Very lucky first time. It's a brilliant stop second time. Vallejo turned it in at the third time of asking. It's been that kind of day for Atletico, but eventually the ball goes in the net. Trapp made all his own problems then.
Probably on balance a deserved goal for Atletico in terms of the game as a whole, but one that certainly could have been avoided from PSG's point of view. Trapp in no man's land. Well, he's the senior keeper, he's the captain for this second half. He's got to lead by example, and Atletico punish him.
So fresh hope for Atletico Madrid, a trap of their own making. PSG have been so good going forward in this game, even with the senior players on and now the next gen. Fresh hope for Simeone. They never have a game ever, Atletico Madrid. What an excellent contest. Absolutely loving it here in the National Stadium in Singapore once more in the International Champions Cup, and nobody's leaving. Late in the evening. Vallejo goes again. Diaby sorted out for PSG. Bahebek.
I think that's where this tournament works so well. Last year you had all the major stars, no World Cup or European Championship or Copa America, big crowds, and this year you can't help be inspired when you hear 100,000 at a game. Manchester United, Liverpool, and maybe not as many big stars on Joe, but certainly plenty of big stars of the future hoping to make their mark and really hungry to make a good impression. Get some very good competitive games as a result.
Nice and tidy. Zagreb hesitated before crossing it. Still possibilities. Bolaki. Block was by Montero. Vallejo. of weight on that ball, stroked out by Olabe. He's given him a different role here second half, hasn't Simeone? I was quite hard on him in the first half, but maybe in mitigation, maybe left back's just not his role, and Simeone's recognised that.
Credit to Atletico as well. They were swept away by PSG's momentum at the start of the second half, but did well to get this goal back. Trap lost and a little lucky that the first rebound was hit straight at him, to be honest.
There's just no such thing as a pre-season friendly, is there, where you're playing for Simeone? Look at the reaction when the ball went in. Nothing friendly about it. Excellent contest.
Still a few weeks away from the start of the Spanish season, but Atletico will have to hit the ground running. They have Valencia away from home in their first league match.
Very demanding. Fourth last season, Valencia. Might be a little bit of a gift here for Atletico. Garces weighing up the options. Scott Pinchy gets Atletico a corner. We know what happened the last time they got a corner. 80th minute, 81st minute. Taken by Moya again. Great ball. And Molejo was going for that one as well. Don't think that's a very good idea, really, Mikado, was it?
I wanted to grab the headline here, but I think he would even hit the target if he tried that a few more times. Really difficult skill and a very long way out.
Lucky trying to stop the quick restart. Sideways by Moya. Montero doing his best work, pushing on Olabe, keeping going here. With that by Zagre. It was composed, wasn't it?
He's been good since coming on at half-time. Just very good on the ball. Very sharp in everything he does.
And again, very good distribution by Adli. Here he goes again. Fairly impressive this from Paris Saint-Germain's point of view. Adli has hit another really good ball up to Weah. Baybeck. Well done by Labe.
Very good move up until then. Again, Weah's movement causing all sorts of problems, and aware that Baybeck was behind him, just nodded it down, but unable to get by his man.
Solano it was. Molejo just denied. That is Olade. PSG free kick.
What a career Simeone has had. Winning the double with Atletico Madrid as player, and then returning as manager to win the league title for the first time since he was a player in '96.
Somebody needs to do a study about this. My question being, are top players becoming much rarer as top managers these days? I think the answer is yes. Almost a dying breed. It was almost a prerequisite 20 years ago, wasn't it? Manage a top club. Now Zidane is an obvious outlier. Valverde had a good career, but you know, right across the footballing world, Mark, it's a new order, isn't it, in that respect? It's a different art being the coach now.
You look at Tuchel, you look at Domenico Tedesco at Schalke.
Solano kept going. Right at trap, and a bit fortunate PSG.
Certainly been fortunate all game in defence, really. Paris Saint-Germain, Borja with a weak effort again, straight at the keeper. Had options as well.
Solano's done well at left back since he come on, hasn't he? Another one for the notebook. Here he goes again. He's Colombian, actually. Was well organised. That's his ball down the side. Now he's got to make more of it this time. Borja Gracias. And it's gone in. It's 2-2. Own goal. Paris Saint-Germain complete it in their own downfall.
Yeah, it's Antoine Bernet, this unfortunate man who's turned it beyond Kevin Trapp. And look at Simeone, delighted with the comeback from his team. We're down and out. PSG all over them. But as ever with Atletico, they never say die. Again, you could maybe see that Trapp was on the move a little bit too early there. Wasn't a great cross, came off the elbow of Bernet. And Atletico missed a lot of chances in this game, but they're back on level terms.
With a little slice of fortune, but he will say, my boys earned it by grafting hard from 2-0 down. And who knows, who would rule them out going on to win it now? Not sure Tuchel can quite believe this. His young players have been absolutely brilliant for 20-25 minutes, but it's a harsh lesson learned. The sloppy moments defensively, that has pegged them back.
What a second half it's been. Can't take your eyes off it.
Adli. Assange goes for it. Adli again, how good has he been as well? Kostelaki should be first onto this. There's another good set by Zan, the left back. They're coming at them for all sides. Way up. Absolutely monstrous strike. Now that really was like his dad, wasn't it? DRB. What a game. Brilliant. Malejo. Atletico come again. Aibet's going to run it back to safety. Joaquin.
Yeah, what an effort from Tim White. A great technique again. In fairness to the keeper, it did well to push it well away from danger.
Adli. Got off by Moya. Can't pick a winner here. Ali has won it back well. Kostelaki and all the young PSG players head for the box again. Tidied up and well done by Montero Biot.
Yeah, Tough going out there again. Adley involved. Cross into a good area. And excellent defending.
No stopping them, both sets of players. Derby.
They don't fancy a penalty shootout by the look of things.
Adley has it. I think his name going in the notebook as well, Day. What an elegant young footballer he looks. Zara got a core out of it. If he looks a bit downcast, it must only be because he thought his team had done enough, Tuchel, and you know we all know that he really wanted to win this. They had it won against most teams, but not Atletico. Approaching 90 minutes. Tufki, I said a great little ball, almost a great piece of vision. Three stoppage minutes. Somewhere goes again.
Again, Tim Weah almost in there. Just so sharp in everything he does, always looking to cause a problem for the opposition defence, and so adaptable as well. He's looking good through the centre. He's good on the wing as well.
This is infusing these new legions of fans out in this part of the world. Surely, Mark, somewhere they'll go, look at these guys, they're all 18, 19. How good do you have to be a top player? These are all young hopefuls. So much ability. To Vicky. Zagreb.
Really like Zagreb's attitude as well. Only 16. He's stood out. Tenacious. And again, another very good attacking outlet, albeit from left back for Paris Saint-Germain.
Where France have really tightened up in the last 7 or 8 years, in my view as well, is that France, here's Postolaki, he's turned into space, he hits it, oh, what a way to win it! Virgilio Postolaki. For sheer exuberance, they deserve it.
Look at celebrations as well. Don't tell me these pre-season friendlies don't mean anything. Those PSG supporters are happy. The players went wild after this one. Lovely turn on the edge of the area, and what a finish. Just when you were thinking, is he just a big man? Is he a threat in the air? Well, what an answer. Only on the field due to injury, of course. What a goal.
Now they've got to defend. You can't stop looking forward, though. Absolutely brilliant game. We're on the 93-minute mark now. There should be a bit of additional time, of course, because of the goal. And they go to the free kick. Got to use it quickly. They've run out of time. He didn't give them the opportunity. Postolaki has won it for Paris Saint-Germain. What a magnificent game of football that was. Absolute privilege. Atletico and their young players cannot believe it. They thought they'd done enough to earn the penalty shootout, but there was simply no stopping the next wave for Thomas Tuchel. Malego, one of the faces of the future perhaps for Atletico, got them back in the hunt from 2-0 down. The own goal levelled it at 2-2, but there was no discouraging PSG's young players. Time and again they attacked, and eventually Postolacu created something for himself and finished it like that. And the smile back on the face. So PSG have got what they wanted here in the National Stadium tonight after a couple of defeats in the International Champions Cup. A win, but so much more than that, given the display tonight of some of their youngest players. They'll head on with bigger tests, of course, but they've won some new friends here with this performance, and several of the young players are going to press their claims hard in 2018-19. Memorable stuff.